Did you leap out of bed the moment your eyes opened this morning? Or perhaps you made a beeline for the bathroom without so much as a single sip of water. These seemingly harmless habits might just be a fast track to a cerebral catastrophe. I once met a man whose life was irrevocably altered by a single cup of coffee, consumed on an empty stomach just after waking. He collapsed, and from that day forward, he couldn't even walk to the bathroom on his own. A stroke is a thief that arrives without warning. But did you know that the morning hours are its favorite time to strike? What's even more chilling is that the victims, more often than not, share nearly identical morning routines. One small, seemingly insignificant habit can become a threat to your very life. Have you noticed a touch of dizziness when you get up recently? A fluttering in your chest? A strange pounding in your ears? What about a dull heaviness in your head? Or a persistent stiffness in the back of your neck? To ignore these symptoms is to play a dangerous game, for they are signals, distress calls from your blood vessels. Are you currently taking medication for high blood pressure, for diabetes, or perhaps a blood thinner? If you answered yes to even one of these, you must, from this moment on, completely overhaul your morning routine. Taking medication does not grant you a shield of invincibility. On the contrary, the very need for that medication is proof that your vascular system is already under strain, already sending out warnings. The first hour of your day is, without a doubt, the most perilous. During the long hours of sleep, your body loses a significant amount of water, leaving your blood thick and viscous. Like slug, the simple act of sitting up causes a sudden, dramatic spike in your blood pressure. If you add just one wrong move to this volatile mix, a blood vessel in your brain can burst or become blocked in an instant. But there is a flip side to this coin, a ray of hope. If you can learn to carefully manage that first hour, a stroke is largely preventable. The habits I'm about to share with you are not complicated. They require no special equipment, no financial investment. It is merely a matter of changing the sequence of your actions and adjusting your timing. I will now lay out, in precise order, the things you must never do in the morning, and the things you absolutely must. Let me begin with the story of my uncle, Robert. He had always been the picture of health, or so everyone thought. He figured as long as he took his pills for blood pressure and diabetes, he was in the clear. He even exercised occasionally and was a relatively mindful eater. But one morning, everything changed. He woke up, poured himself a cup of coffee, and was about to head to the restroom when he simply crumpled to the floor. It was a massive stroke. From that day forward, he lost the ability to wash himself, to walk, to live independently. The right side of his body was paralyzed, his hand and leg rendered useless. His speech, once clear and confident, became a slurred, frustrating struggle. The most terrifying part of it all was that this entire life-altering event happened in the span of a few seconds. He had taken a single sip of coffee, tried to stand up, and collapsed right where he stood. His story is far from unique. If you are taking medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, your risk of a stroke is, at a minimum, 4 times higher than average. If you take all three, the danger increases exponentially. Yet, most people operate under the dangerous misconception that as long as they take their pills, they are safe. This is a grave error in judgment. The small mercy is that this disease doesn't truly strike out of the blue. It's the culmination of years of gradual damage to your blood vessels. A healthy vessel doesn't just rupture one day for no reason. It is the daily, accumulated assault of poor habits that weakens the vessel wall, bit by bit, until it finally reaches its breaking point. That is why this very moment is so crucial. If you can recognize the signals your body is sending and commit to changing your habits now, you can prevent the catastrophe. That morning dizziness, the neck stiffness, the heart palpitations, these are not just signs of fatigue. They are urgent messages. The information I am about to share can fundamentally transform your mornings and, by extension, your future. Listening to the end and putting it into practice is the only way to experience real change. And please, pay close attention to the section about breakfast at the end. It's not just about what times you eat. but times when times and times how times you eat it that matters most. Without this knowledge, even the healthiest food can become a poison to your blood vessels. Let's begin. These small, practical changes to your daily routine are all it takes. We will now walk through the morning habits directly linked to stroke risk, one by one. If you have hypertension, diabetes, or high cholesterol, your risk is already elevated. But by simply mastering the first hour of your day, you can cut that danger by more than half. Please, try to follow these 7 morning rituals in the order presented. First, upon waking, do you have a tendency to jump right out of bed? Many of us do. This is an exceptionally dangerous action. While we sleep, our parasympathetic nervous system is dominant, keeping our heart rate slow and our blood pressure low. But the instant we sit or stand up, the sympathetic nervous system kicks into overdrive, causing a surge in blood pressure. Research from the American Heart Association confirms that the first hour after waking is the peak time for strokes to occur throughout the entire day, with the first 30 minutes being the most critical window of danger. A medical research center in Japan also published findings showing that nearly 25% of morning strokes are linked to this exact behavior of rising too abruptly. So, what is the correct way to start your day? When you first open your eyes, do not sit up. Instead, remain lying down and take 3 to 5 slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. This simple act allows your sympathetic nervous system to activate gradually, preventing that dangerous spike in blood pressure. Next, indulge in a long, satisfying stretch, feeling your muscles awaken. Then, gently roll onto your side and use your arms to slowly push yourself into a sitting position, letting your legs dangle over the side of the bed for a moment before standing. This entire process should take a leisurely 2 to 3 minutes. For anyone with high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, this step is non-negotiable. Are you someone who typically rushes out of bed in the morning? Second, once you are on your feet, there is one immediate and crucial task. Drink a glass of lukewarm water. This is vital because our bodies are in a constant state of dehydration during sleep. We lose moisture through perspiration and even through the simple act of breathing, which releases water vapor. Over the course of a night, we can lose between 200 to 300 milliliters of fluid. This dehydration thickens the blood, increasing its viscosity. When blood is thick, it doesn't flow smoothly, dramatically increasing the risk of clot formation. Data from the Japan Cardiovascular Research Institute shows that consuming water on an empty stomach in the morning is highly effective in improving blood flow. The water helps to dilute the blood, lowering its viscosity and promoting smooth circulation. Therefore, after rising, slowly drink a 200 milliliter glass, about 7 ounces of lukewarm water. The temperature here is key. Water that is too cold can shock the gastrointestinal system, which can, paradoxically, cause a rise in blood pressure. Conversely, water that is too hot can be harsh on the esophagus and stomach lining. Lukewarm is the perfect balance. And when you drink it, don't gulp it down all at once. Take slow, deliberate sips, finishing the glass over a minute or two. Do you already have a habit of drinking water first thing in the morning? Third, after finishing your water, head directly to the bathroom. Holding your morning urge to urinate is a serious risk. When the bladder becomes full, it increases intra-abdominal pressure, which in turn causes a sharp spike in blood pressure. A report by the Japanese Circulation Society found that when patients with chronic hypertension hold their urine, their systolic blood pressure can rise by an average of 20 to 30 mmHg. The danger is amplified if you strain during a bowel movement. The act of straining causes a massive increase in abdominal pressure, sending blood pressure soaring and putting immense stress on the blood vessels in the brain. A shocking number of people actually collapse in the bathroom for this very reason. So, the rule is simple. After your glass of water, go to the bathroom immediately. Tend to urination first, and try to be out within 3 minutes. When it comes to a bowel movement, never, ever strain. If it isn't happening, simply get up and leave. Sitting on the toilet for extended periods is also detrimental to circulation. Do you have a habit of putting off your morning trip to the bathroom? Fourth, After the bathroom, take a few moments to calm your mind. The word meditation might sound intimidating, but it can be as simple as sitting comfortably, closing your eyes, and focusing on your breath. Morning stress triggers the release of cortisol, a stress hormone that constricts blood vessels and raises blood pressure. A research team at Harvard Medical School found that practices like meditation and deep breathing calm the sympathetic nervous system and activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which can lower blood pressure by an average of 10 mmHg. Furthermore, a study from the University of Oxford showed that regular meditation improves the function of the vascular endothelial cells, which helps blood vessels to relax and dilate. The method is straightforward. Sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes. Then, simply become aware of your breath as it enters and leaves your body. Breathe in slowly through your nose and out slowly through your mouth, focusing only on the sensation of breathing. Even 1 minute is beneficial. As you get more comfortable, you can extend this to 3 or 5 minutes. The key is to start small and gradually increase the duration. Have you ever taken a few moments in the morning just to quiet your mind? Fifth, once your mind is calm, it's time to check your blood pressure. Hypertension is the single biggest risk factor for stroke, yet it often presents with no symptoms, earning it the nickname, the silent killer. Many people live with it for years, completely unaware. According to the World Health Organization, more than half of all people with high blood pressure don't even know they have it. Your morning blood pressure reading is particularly critical. Research from the Japan Society for the Prevention of Cardiovascular Disease indicates that a high morning blood pressure reading is a significantly more accurate predictor of stroke risk than a reading taken at night. This is why a morning check is so essential. It's important to measure it at the same time and in the same posture every day. The ideal time is after you've used the restroom and have been sitting quietly for about 5 minutes. Rest your arm at heart level. And most importantly, record the numbers in a log. If your systolic pressure, the top number is consistently 140 or higher, or your diastolic, the bottom number is 90 or higher, it's imperative that you consult your doctor. Have you ever made a habit of checking your blood pressure daily? Sixth, after checking your blood pressure, gently warm up your body. Morning exercise is fantastic for promoting blood flow and activating your metabolism. A research team at the University of Leicester conducted a 10-year study following 5,000 individuals over the age of 60. Their findings were remarkable. Those who were more physically active in the morning had a 17% lower risk of stroke. Exercise stimulates the endothelial cells lining your blood vessels to release nitric oxide, a compound that dilates the vessels and improves circulation. Furthermore, moving your muscles keeps the blood flowing, preventing stagnation and reducing the risk of clot formation. A few minutes of light exercise in the morning can improve your circulation for the entire day. The routine doesn't need to be strenuous. Gently rotate your neck from side to side. Roll your shoulders forward and back. Extend your legs and rotate your ankles. Lightly massage your hands and feet. 5 to 10 minutes is all you need. A word of caution. Overly vigorous exercise can do more harm than good by causing a sudden blood pressure spike. Be especially careful when exercising outdoors on a cold day, as the cold air constricts blood vessels, increasing the danger. Are you consistent with a morning exercise routine? Finally, we arrive at the 7th and most crucial habit, breakfast. Prolonged fasting in the morning creates a cascade of problems. First, your blood sugar drops, depriving your brain of its primary energy source. In response, your body releases stress hormones to raise blood sugar levels. But this process also raises your blood pressure. Furthermore, a prolonged fasting state makes your blood even thicker and stickier, elevating the risk of clots. At Harvard University's School of Public Health, a 13-year study of 85 CIS.000 people revealed that individuals who skipped breakfast had a stroke risk that was more than 3 times higher than those who ate breakfast daily. That is a staggering statistic. A proper breakfast should be a balanced mix of whole grains, protein, vegetables, and fruit. Think oatmeal or mixed grain rice paired with a source of protein like eggs or tofu. Protein provides lasting satiety and helps to stabilize blood sugar levels. Accompany this with plenty of vegetables, such as steamed spinach or a side salad. The dietary fiber in vegetables slows the rise in blood sugar and helps to block the absorption of cholesterol. However, there are some very important things to avoid. First, processed meats. Ham, sausage, and bacon are loaded with sodium and saturated fats, which raise blood pressure and damage blood vessels. The same goes for pickled foods. Items like kimchi and other pickled vegetables have a high sodium content and can be dangerous for those with hypertension. It goes without saying that instant foods should also be avoided. And finally, refined carbohydrates like white rice and white bread cause a rapid spike in blood sugar. It's far better to switch to whole grains. What did you have for breakfast this morning? Was it a heart-healthy choice? So, there you have it. The 7 essential morning habits. Wake up slowly. Drink lukewarm water. Use the bathroom promptly. Meditate for a few minutes. Check your blood pressure. Do some light stretching. And eat a balanced breakfast. By simply adhering to this sequence, you can dramatically reduce your risk of a stroke. But we're not done yet. There is one more critical aspect of breakfast to discuss. Fruit. Fruit is widely known to be good for you, but after the age of 60, the way you eat it must change completely. Let me explain in detail. Fruits are a powerhouse of nutrition. They are rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, and they are packed with dietary fiber. However, as we age, our bodies change, our metabolic rate slows down, and the function of our organs declines. Therefore, our approach to fruit consumption must adapt accordingly. The 4 guidelines I'm about to share are not just pieces of information. They are essential principles for healthy aging. When do you typically eat fruit? Are you one of the many people who reach for a piece of fruit on an empty stomach first thing in the morning? This habit is more dangerous than you might think. The reason lies in fructose, a simple sugar found in fruit. When you eat fruit on an empty stomach, this fructose is absorbed almost instantly, bypassing a lengthy digestive process. This causes a rapid, sharp spike in your blood sugar, forcing the pancreas to release a large amount of insulin all at once. The problem is that, after age 60, our body's response to insulin becomes sluggish. In our younger years, insulin would quickly regulate a rise in blood sugar, but as we get older, we develop insulin resistance, making it much harder to control blood sugar levels. According to the American Diabetes Association, approximately 30% of seniors over the age of 65 experience impaired fasting glucose or are in a pre-diabetic state. Eating fruit on an empty stomach can trigger a blood sugar spike, where levels shoot up and then crash down. When this happens repeatedly, it damages the lining of our blood vessels, causes inflammation, and ultimately accelerates arteriosclerosis, increasing the risk of stroke. Fruits with high sugar content, like bananas and mangoes, are particularly risky when eaten on an empty stomach. There's another problem. 2. Eating fruit on an empty stomach stimulates the secretion of stomach acid, which can lead to indigestion and discomfort. Acidic fruits, like citrus, can be especially irritating to the stomach lining, which naturally weakens as we age. Therefore, the best time to eat fruit is about 1 hour after breakfast. When you eat a balanced meal containing carbohydrates, protein, and fat, your digestion slows down. Protein and fat delay the digestive process, and fiber slows the absorption of sugar. If you eat fruit in this state, the fructose will also be absorbed more slowly, keeping your blood sugar levels stable. An hour after a meal, your stomach has had time to process the main course, so adding a small amount of fruit won't overburden it. And the quantity is just as important. A large portion is not necessary. Half an apple or a small handful of blueberries is plenty. It's also vital to eat slowly and chew thoroughly. Eating quickly causes a faster rise in blood sugar. The longer you chew, the better your digestion, and the more gradual the increase in blood sugar. When do you normally eat your fruit? The amount of fruit you consume is also critical. As we age, our metabolic capacity declines, liver and kidney function weaken, and the secretion of digestive enzymes decreases. When we were young, our bodies could handle large quantities of fruit, but after treads, that is no longer the case. Besides fructose, fruits are high in potassium, vitamins, and minerals. In moderation, these are beneficial, but in excess, they can be harmful. Potassium, in particular, can be a problem. Healthy kidneys efficiently filter out excess potassium, but with diminished kidney function, potassium can accumulate in the body, leading to a condition called hyperkalemia, which can cause cardiac arrhythmias and, in severe cases, a heart attack. Data from the Japanese Society of Nephrology indicates that about 20% of seniors over 60 have stage 3 or higher chronic kidney disease. Many of these individuals are unaware their kidney function is impaired, so they continue to eat potassium-rich fruits without a second thought, leading to serious health issues. A safe daily limit for fruit is 200 grams or less. To give you an idea, half of a medium-sized apple is about 100 grams. So, a good daily portion might be half an apple and a small handful of blueberries, or perhaps half an avocado. This amount allows you to get all the benefits of the vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants without risking an overload of sugar or potassium. And please, avoid fruit juice. Juicing removes most of the fiber, leaving a concentrated shot of fructose that will send your blood sugar soaring. How much fruit did you eat today? For those taking medication, the timing of fruit consumption requires even more careful consideration. Certain fruits can interact with common medications like blood pressure pills, blood sugar regulators, and blood thinners. This is a crucial point that many people are completely unaware of. Take grapefruit, for example. It contains a compound called furanocoumarin, which inhibits an enzyme in the liver that breaks down many drugs. As a result, the medication isn't metabolized properly, remains in the body for longer, and its effects can become dangerously amplified. Combining grapefruit with certain calcium channel blockers for blood pressure can cause a precipitous drop in blood pressure, potentially leading to fainting. Grapes also require caution. They are rich in resveratrol, an antioxidant that has a blood-thinning effect. For someone taking a blood thinner like warfarin, eating a lot of grapes can increase the risk of bleeding, which is especially dangerous for those at risk of a cerebral hemorrhage. Tropical fruits like mangoes and papayas can also be problematic, as they can rapidly raise blood sugar, posing a risk of hypoglycemia for those on diabetes medication. Therefore, to be safe, it's essential to create a time gap between taking medication and eating fruit. A minimum of 2 hours should separate them. If you take your medication in the morning, you can eat fruit 2 hours before or 2 hours after. This prevents the drug and the fruit's compounds from being absorbed simultaneously, minimizing the risk of interaction. If you are on multiple medications, it's always best to ask your doctor which specific fruits you should avoid. Finally, the type of fruit you choose is paramount. Not all fruits are created equal, especially after 60. For those with blood pressure, blood sugar, or kidney issues, there are certain fruits that should be avoided. Bananas, for instance, are very high in potassium. One medium banana contains about 422 milligrams. While this is fine for someone with healthy kidneys, for those with impaired function, regular consumption can lead to a dangerous buildup of potassium, putting a strain on the heart. Grapes are high in sugar, with about 15 grams per 100 grams serving, making them risky for diabetics. Dried grapes, hors raisin, are even more potent. As the sugar is concentrated, mangoes are also high in both sugar and potassium and should be consumed with caution. Persimmons are rich in tannins, which can interfere with iron absorption, so they should be avoided by anyone with anemia. So, what are the best fruits to eat? At the top of the list is blueberries. They are packed with powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins. A Harvard study that followed over 93,000 people for 18 years found that those who ate blueberries at least 3 times a week had a 32% lower risk of stroke. Apples are another excellent choice. They are high in a soluble fiber called pectin, which slows the rise of blood sugar and helps lower cholesterol. Avocados are rich in healthy monounsaturated fats that lower bad cholesterol LDL and raise good cholesterol HDL. The American Heart Association recommends avocados as a heart-healthy food. Finally, tomatoes, technically a fruit, are incredibly rich in the antioxidant lycopene, which has been shown to protect endothelial cells and lower blood pressure. Focus on these 4 fruits and avoid the riskier ones. Was your fruit choice today a healthy one? To summarize the 4 key rules for eating fruit. Eat it 1 hour after breakfast. Limit your intake to 200 grams per day. Leave a 2-hour window between fruit and medication, and choose safe fruits over risky ones. Adhering to these simple guidelines can help you enjoy the benefits of fruit without the dangers. Let's review everything we've covered today. I am truly grateful you've listened to the end. For many of you, this may be the first time you've heard just how dangerous the morning can be. We've discussed how seemingly small habits, jumping out of bed, drinking coffee before water, skipping breakfast, can lead to the terrifying outcome of a stroke. But we've also discovered the hopeful truth. By changing those small habits, a stroke is largely preventable. Let's quickly recap the 7 morning habits one more time. Wake up slowly. Lie in bed for a few minutes. Take deep breaths. Stretch and rise gently. Drink a glass of lukewarm water to hydrate and thin your blood. Use the bathroom immediately without straining. Take a few minutes for quiet meditation to calm your mind and lower blood pressure. Check your blood pressure and keep a log. Do 5 to 10 minutes of light stretching to improve circulation. Eat a balanced, brain-healthy breakfast, avoiding processed foods. At first, this new routine might feel awkward or tedious, but after 3 days, then a week, then a month, you will feel a profound difference. Your body will begin to respond. The morning dizziness will fade, and you will feel a sense of calm and ease that carries you through the day. Many people I have spoken to have experienced this transformation firsthand. They started as skeptics, but after a month, they felt like entirely new people. Their fear of the morning was replaced with a feeling of refreshment. Some have even been able to reduce their blood pressure medication. And remember, fruit is not unconditionally good. After 60, the sugar, potassium, and tannins can be harmful. It's time to choose fruits that your body can handle, not just the ones you crave. Stick with blueberries, apples, avocados, and tomatoes. And be mindful of your portions and timing. I know all of this might seem complex, but if you start by implementing just one change at a time, it will soon become second nature. Don't try to be perfect from day one. Just change one thing tomorrow, then add another the next day. A month from now, you will be greeting a completely different kind of morning. Think about it. The habits you've built over decades are not easy to change. But if those habits are threatening your health, and a few simple adjustments can prevent a stroke, isn't it worth the effort? Here is one thing you can do right now. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, just breathe. When your eyes open, resist the urge to move. Stay flat on your back and take 3 slow, deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Give your body the time it needs to awaken. This one small, patient beginning can change the future of your vascular health. One gentleman I met put it beautifully. He said, "Once I started giving myself grace in the morning, my entire day became more graceful. His blood pressure stabilized, his mood improved, and he found he was kinder to his family." A small change creates a ripple effect. You can do this. Don't think it's too late. Today is the earliest it will ever be again. If you start today, tomorrow will be better, and the day after will be better still. In 1 month, you will be healthier and more vibrant than you are right now. I promise you that.